Hijikata, assistant leader of the Shinsengun. Okita, I recommend that you stand down. That man over there, the infamous Batosai, the mouse. Evil's wolves are here. It's the Shinsengun.
What is up, guys? DT Ninja here to give you guys my RuroKen Hokkaido Arc Chapter 53 review. Alright guys, we're going to dive right into the chapter. As you guys know, Chapter 52, Sano and Anji were facing off against Doi of the Kenkaku Heki, the rock user, and at the end of that chapter, they both hit Futai no Kiwami at the same time. Now this was the color cover of that issue, and it has Kenshin on it, and it has a character from Dark Gathering. Anyways, this is part of this chapter, so that's why I wanted to share that. So let's get to the actual chapter. So the first page, we have Sano and Anji, and they are shown smashing through the rock user Doi. And this is a great visual of both of them fighting. It's great to see them, you know, kind of duo here. So we turn the page, and we have a nice title scan with both of them smiling. And obviously, they're a duo, so they're going to be fighting Doi, the Kenkaku Heki. Now, we get right into the chapter, and right off we see they're shocked that they believe that Doi is dead. You can see there's a hole in their chest, and they just look shocked. You can actually see the hole right here from the Futai no Kiwami. And he's like, damn, you know, that's crazy. And then, of course, they kind of have a little argument, like, they were synchronized, but I think they were not intending to both do it at the same time, or they went overboard in this case. You see Anji actually praying for the soul of Doi, and Sano basically saying it's over, right? And then this is where it gets interesting. You have Anji looking back or thinking about Doi the rock user and what he had said, and he had said something about the children being happy in the Pure Land. Now, this is the first thing I notice about this chapter, the notable things. Basically, Anji praying, yes, and this children in the Pure Land, this is a Buddhism thing. So why is that important? Because, as you know, the Enlightened One, Anji the Destroyer, was once about the Buddhist faith, right? So right there, it tells you there's some connection and he can relate to this character. So that's quite interesting. Sano tells him not to worry right here. Don't worry about it. And he's like, I'm not worried. I was just curious. And all of a sudden, the eyes bulge out and it looks like Doi's still alive. So one thing I'm going to say is Sano and Anji have a lot of emotions in this chapter. You get shocked, you get kind of almost guilt, you get, you know, happy, you get, you know, scared. There's all different kinds of emotions shown in this chapter. Then you have Doi basically rising up, jumping up. This was pretty crazy. And then you see the hole in their chest. Suddenly there's this light here. And then the next thing I want to say, and this page is really cool. You get Anji basically yelling that it's rock armor. It's not his skin. It's actually rock armor. So that's really neat. And I like the reveal. Look at the eyes. The eyes are almost white. So that is something very interesting because a lot of the Kenkaku Heki don't have those. So that's something to think about. Okay, the next thing I noticed was Anji says Gusoku. Look at this. He says Gusoku. Now this is actually samurai armor. This is not just any type of armor. So this right here, yoroi, this word right here means armor. That's why he says Ganseki no yoroi data, because he's saying it's rock armor. But if that is armor, shouldn't that be there? He says gusoku, which means samurai armor. So that is very interesting to me, and I think that maybe there's some reference to samurai armor here. So that would be a good discussion question for my next video, to go further and do some research about, because I think it's really incredible how much they put into this series. Every page has something. Of course, Sano is also surprised. They both say, let's both attack at the same time like before. But this is the difference. You see the shattering of the rock armor, and basically they disappear into the ground. They go into the ground, and you can see their big jacket there. And then right here, suddenly, he tells them that he's tunneling underground. Then you have this weapon come straight up behind them, making them think that they are actually here. So they turn around, right? They're looking, and suddenly you see a hand reaching out, and it's got these beads here. And then two hands actually grab Sanosuke and Anji from behind. Now look at the size of the hands. It's pretty crazy. It almost looks like they're very big. And I think that he did this on purpose just to show kind of, how maybe to make us think it's a guy. Because at first, yeah, it almost looks like guy hands. But then, you get this how dare you kind of attitude, don't mess with me. And then it turns around and Sano gets smashed in the face. So there was some really crazy things happening all at once. Sano goes flying back. Anji doesn't really make out what's happening. And then suddenly you see some lips and long hair. And yes, they're both shocked. It's a woman. It's a woman. Doi all along was a woman. Yes, that was the huge reveal here. Now, the next thing I want to point out is the prayer beads. Okay, we saw it when it first appeared, but look, the prayer beads here, these beads here are on basically wrapped around her fists and her arms, but also her ankles, which could explain how she's able to use the armor, use her power inside the armor, and maybe that's even how she uses the earth-style techniques. But anyways, I noticed that. So yeah, and this is also related to Buddhism. So I think this is another hint that she could be of Buddhist faith. And then you look at her dress-like outfit here. You see there's some motifs and some interesting things like this. This is a wheel of reincarnation. In fact, you can see there's like an animal there. So the wheel of reincarnation basically is something in Buddhism that, you can be reincarnated in the next life. This is one of the things in Buddhism. So that's interesting. So those were a few things. You had the land of the Pure Land. You had the beads, and you also have the wheel of reincarnation. So all of those point towards her being of Buddhist faith, which relates back to Anji, which may be why she said those words in the first place. So yeah, very interesting stuff. The reveal of Doi being a woman was a shocker to everyone. Another thing is she has a mark on her forehead. Now, yes, in Indian culture, they do this. However, we also know Buddha also has these type of things. So that's another thing you could say about Doi that possibly could point her towards the Buddhist faith. It's not out of out of the question that she could be an Indian character from India. But I don't know. I think she may be from the actual clan of Kinkaku Heki. So she's from Japan. At least that's my understanding. I could be wrong about that, but I want to put that possibility out there. Then you see her, just pummeling Anji with her fists. But notice most of the attacks are used with the prayer beads. Almost never does she drop them, which makes me believe that her reflexes, her strength, her agility. Let's look at her agility here, because this is pretty crazy. Look at this. She uses her, she jumps up here and then smashes, kicks Sano in the face. She's really fast once she has, and of course the beads are wrapped around her arms and her legs. So that could be the reason why she is much stronger. The beads enhance her agility, speed, and strength. She appears to be faster, stronger, and more agile without the armor. So I feel like this is a release, kind of like weights being pulled off. So another thing I want to point out is that this could be one of the questions that we talk about. Doi specializes in rock armor, and she says, and I'm going to go back. So right when it says here, it says the Doi clan's rock armor was pierced. So this implies that her family clan is, all about the armor and this special type of armor. Does that mean are there other clans within the Kinkaku Heki that have this type of ability or strength? I have to wonder. Or is she separate from the Kinkaku Heki and she was just brought in? Because remember, there are a few outsiders. And the last thing I want to point out is her white eyes. So as you notice, most Kinkaku Heki have the Sekiriki, the blood red eyes, right? But look at her eyes, they're white. In fact, her enhancements seem to come from her releasing the armor. It's not about within and the special enhancement ability of Sekiriki. Maybe she's holding back. Maybe she does have Sekiriki, but we just haven't seen it. But yeah, that's a very interesting thing we should discuss in my next video. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for the chapter. I did get a lot of color scans done for this chapter, so you will get those in the discussion. I have some good discussion questions, I believe. We're going to talk about the Gusoku samurai armor. We're going to talk about Sanosuke and what he could possibly do to defeat Doi. We're going to talk about Anji and Buddhism, and also Doi and how they're related, connected, and with Buddhism. And also we're going to talk about the Kinkaku Heki and possibly whether or not Doi has Sekiriki, which is the enhancement ability, since she already released the armor and now she's gotten much, much stronger. And how can they take her out? But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully it'll be pretty soon. The color scans are almost done, so I will do the discussion very soon. Anyways, we'll see you in the next one.